Twitter has blown up my brain here. I've built a real estate private equity company. This is a clear path to wealth. My mind was opened to the power of Twitter. First, it really opened twice. First, it opened in 2020 when I learned that I can meet people with cash who want to invest in self-storage. And everybody knows that story. I think I told that story last time I was on here with you. It was how I got on, started tweeting about my deals. People saw that I was in the game. They got a look into my mind of how I was thinking about real estate. And fast forward, 6 months later, and we were buying our first property with investor capital that all came through folks that I had met on Twitter. And it wasn't like I was blatantly advertising, hey, invest with me, or running ads. It was folks DMing me. We were hopping on Zoom calls or getting coffee, and then they would become investors and kind of want to get involved in what we were doing. The real estate private equity company grew. 2021 was a huge year. Here we are halfway through 2023. 2021 was a year where we went from 6 employees to 45 employees. We bought $50 million worth of stores. We raised $25 million of investor capital. And all that on the back of about 30,000 Twitter followers that I had in 2021. 2022 was a slower year for real estate. Rates rose all year. 2023, and here we are, and real estate has come to a screeching halt. I mean, we're not buying any deals. We are still managing our portfolio. We still have 45 employees, but here we thought we would be buying a ton of storage this year. We thought we'd buy a ton of storage last year. To put in perspective, we bought $50 million worth of self-storage in 2021. We bought $38 million worth of storage last year in 2022. Almost all that was in the first half of the year. And then 2023, so far, we've closed on one deal for $1.2 million. And here we are in June, halfway through. So luckily, Chris Powers, a mentor of mine, and several others, Moses, they got me smart about putting in the correct deal structure and the deal fees so that I can feed my team and we can continue to pay our amazing people to work even if we're not transacting. So I feel very, very lucky that we're sitting here and we have, $1.5 million of management fees coming in and our overhead is $1.3 million. So I'm not getting wealthy off my management company, but I can pay the bills, which is an amazing thing. But then so that was the first kind of, okay, Twitter has blown up my brain here. I've built a real estate private equity company. This is a clear path to wealth. We've started to raise money on the internet through people we've met on the internet. The second one was the story with Support Shepherd. Marshall came to me, who's the owner of a company that recruits and hires. It's a recruiting company for Filipino and Latin American talent. He came to me in early 2021. I had maybe 50,000 followers. And he said, hey, Nick, first of all, you need to hire one of our employees. It's going to change your life and your business. Second of all, I want you to, if it goes well and you like these people, we can set up a revenue share referral program where you can help me grow my business and you can make really good money. So I went on through Shepherd. They set up a couple interviews and they brought me 3 candidates to work for my real estate company. It was going to be customer service, data entry, things like that. All 3 of them blew my mind. I hired all 3 of them. I think I'm the only person to do that yet with Shepherd. Long story short, a couple months later, him and I made a deal. I was getting a revenue share of promoting Shepherd on Twitter. And you've seen the meme now of me talking about $5 an hour. I've ran it about 20 times already, and the woke mob totally explodes that tweet, millions of impressions every single time. And this meme on Twitter has kind of grown that company substantially. When Marshall came to me for the very first time, they were doing $30,000, $40,000 a month of revenue, maybe $50,000 a month of revenue in early 2021. They were about a year old. Fast forward a year later to April of the next year, and the company had grown 7 times, 7 times larger. The team had, quadrupled, and it's becoming a big business. At this point, I go to Marshall and I say, hey, Marshall, I know the revenue share is amazing, but I really want to own part of this company. Like I want to be bought in, I want to have equity in it, and I want to keep growing it, and I want to go forward into the future. Long story short, we made a deal where I was a minority shareholder, 15%, 15%. And then so that took place in 2023, April 2023 is when we made that deal. And here we are in June of 2024, and the company is substantially larger, doing over, I think in this month it did 150 placements so far, and a team of 170 people over in the Philippines. It's a company that I would value at $25+ million. One company, And yes, they have an amazing service. And yes, 51% of their customers are return. But I had a big part of it by helping promote it on Twitter. My mind blew up. Hey, look at all this value that we were able to create because we have a really good operator in Marshall and his team, and we have me and a good marketing plan on Twitter and social media. So then from there on, I've kind of reshaped what I want to do long term on Twitter and kind of what I see as possible. The cost segregation firm that I started with Mitchell, I was in a similar situation where I had a guy that I was recommending to do cost segs for a small revenue cut, and I went to him and said, hey, I want to own part of this company. And unlike Marshall, he said, no, I don't really necessarily want to grow that much bigger. It's been a blessing. We're still very good friends to this day. But he said, no, you should go on your way. We should part ways and you should go do what you want to do. Me, Mitchell, and a couple others partnered on RE Cost Seg, which is an engineering firm for real estate. And we registered that domain on May 1st of 2022. So a little over a year ago. 26 employees, well over $150,000 a month of revenue, and a massive company in the making. And real estate transaction volume is in the tanks right now. And we're still, doing 30, 40 grand a month of revenue, or a week of revenue. So that's the second business. And then kind of, you've seen me over the last 6 months start a search engine optimization company, Bold SEO, an American recruiting company called RecruitJet, a performance marketing company that we're going to launch next week called AdRhino. The list goes on with just companies that kind of, they're all synergistic is in that I am customers. All my companies are customers of all my other companies. And my following, which are entrepreneurs and business owners and real estate investors, need all these things as well. So my goal is to kind of build a holding company that combines all these businesses. The last month, I've kind of really shaped my goal to think even bigger than that. But yeah, that's where 6 months ago, my goal was, hey, I'm going to do this with 10 companies or so. I want to have a holding company with 10 or so businesses inside of it, and go from there. Big news, guys. I created a free PDF that details my method on how I analyze a self-storage facility and figure out what it's worth. Give me a pen, the back of a napkin, and a couple metrics, and I can figure out about what the property is going to be worth to me. If you want to download this PDF, click in the show notes, the first link, and you can give me your email address, and you get a email right away with a 4-page PDF that outlines exactly how I think about underwriting or giving my initial analysis on a self-storage facility. Again, click the link in the show notes, and you're going to get that document for free. Before you go, we have a new sponsor of the show, recostseg.com. And if you bought a piece of real estate, you need to get a cost segregation study done. It's what allows you to get all that sweet, sweet bonus depreciation, and it's how real estate investors like me and many others pay almost nothing in taxes on an annual basis. You can cost seg a single-family rental, a short-term rental, or a large commercial property. recostseg.com is affordable and aggressive and super fast to turn them around. They've done 10 plus cost segs for me this year. They're going to do many more for me. Visit recostseg.com to learn more.